What's going on, everybody? It's your host of the Blessing Thoughts podcast, and I'm here to let you know if you've been thinking about starting your own podcast but don't know where to go, then look no further, because Anchor is a tool for you. Anchor is a free podcast distribution site that allows you to record your podcasts, and you can edit them on the site yourself, and then you can upload them. They'll even help expand your podcast to more platforms just by a click of a button, distribute them to other platforms such as Spotify or Apple. And if you want to make money from podcasting, Anchor helps with that too, by helping you get ads you can promote on your podcast, just like what I'm doing right now. So look no further and go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and start your podcasting journey today. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Relaxing Thoughts podcast. I am your host. This is To Relaxation. We are here with episode 17. We approaching that 20 route. I wonder how many episodes I'll probably get done before I hit my 1 year. I don't know if I'm doing anything for 1 year, but I'll probably keep it something in mind. I don't know. As of right now, I got nothing planned. But yeah, another episode, another topic of discussion. But before we get into that, as always, now, do you guys want to discuss anything with the podcast? Or you want to ask questions or bring up topics or just talk to me? I had started a Twitter, Digi Relaxation, DIGI Relaxation, one word. But I mean, I'm in a lot of places. Instagram, YouTube, all of that. So wherever you can find me, I guess. But yeah. So as always, the usual beginning. What have I been up to since the last episode? Not a whole lot. I recently started to take time on like myself, just to like realign myself and get back to I guess a more centered place for myself, like doing a lot, and I'm doing a lot and thinking about a lot, and it's just like I need time to like reevaluate everything and put things into like perspective of what steps and what route I should take next. Other than that, I mean, as far as like my hobbies go, still watching anime, playing games, but nothing specific. I want to I'm just looking for the next game that I'm willing to like, that I want to go through again. Those multiplayer games aren't doing it for me as much. But I believe the new Saw movie, Spiral, came out. I do want to watch that. I'm actually, I enjoy that franchise, so I like to watch it. Chris Rock starts in it, so it'll be interesting seeing him being known for a comedian take on, I guess, a horror, quote unquote horror. Like, if you ever watched the Saw movies, like me personally, I'm not really into horror like that, but I gave that movie a chance just to see, and you realize that it's technically not really horror, it's just a lot of gory stuff. But I mean, if that scares you, then I guess that's horror, but there's no like monster or nothing. Like, yeah, they try to do jump scares here and there, but it's obvious stuff. So it'll be interesting to see him usually doing comedic roles do something that's in the horror realm. The trailer made it seem like I don't know, like there wasn't nothing to be afraid of. Like, just, I don't know, it's like I said, it's just weird seeing him doing it. Like, maybe if it was another actor, and maybe it felt like, oh, like the suspense, but it's like it's Chris Rock, so it's like seeing him be afraid, I guess, is weird. Yeah, other than that, I have been recently, I've been talking a lot in my my podcast group, just to get perspective on things and how other people feel about certain situations and discussions. Just trying to like, I don't know, just trying to be more confident with myself and being out there. Like, I know that if I do want the podcast to grow, I would have to put myself out there and let it be known. So it's like trying to put myself out there much more so people be more familiar with me. But yeah, we had some interesting conversations, interesting responses I've been seeing. But yeah, I do someday, I don't know when, but I do want to plan to eventually branch out with like guests with people I don't know. Usually my guests are people I do know. I think I talked about this in the last episode, so yeah. But yeah, I plan on doing that just to spice it up for me as well, and also for people who's listening. Just to get a new dynamic and element of like how I would react to other people and what we would speak on. But yeah, so this episode, I want to talk mainly about well, it's kind of into two separate categories, but overall it's more about like when you're starting something, whether you start it alone or with friends, and how things may change when, you know, when you reach a certain point, or if you haven't reached a certain point, like people supporting you or people, you know, clashing ideas with each other. So I'm gonna talk about stuff like that because, of course, the most recent situation have happened in the podcast universe. The Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden has recently, I guess, fired his two co-hosts, and they went on to respond about it, and it just seems like a big situation of like, one side you can see that seems like Joe Budden seemed like now that he finally got his brand up to a point where he feels like the value is real high, so it's like he's trying to treat it more carefully. But with that, it's like he isolated his friends and his co-hosts, and they felt like that was kind of being disrespectful towards them. Like, we help you build this, and you're being like, you know, transparent about what's going on with the business aspect of it now. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I don't want to really talk about that. I just want to talk about mainly the situation of when you start something with, I guess, a friend or family or whatever, close friend or distant friend, whatever. The reason why I don't want to speak on it a lot, because obviously there's two sides, but I originally had a podcast. It was a gaming based podcast, and it was me and a co-host. So it was two of us doing it. The thing about it was, I mean, most of it could be my fault, because I kind of rushed into it without thinking. Because I had always wanted to do a podcast. I mentioned this before. I had wanted to do a podcast like since 2016, and my original idea is that I always wanted to do it with a co-host, and the people that I did want to do it with just never wanted to, I guess, jump on board, or just didn't. I don't know. They just didn't have the time. They were busy. Things just kept on changing. So I put it on hold for years. It wasn't until last year, around this time actually, probably this month or last year, it would probably be our 1 year anniversary if we were still going. But yeah, so the person that I started the podcast with, which she has appeared on this podcast as a guest, I believe a couple of times, which is Dodge. So with me and Dodge, I mainly know her through YouTube. I I was searching for like videos to watch, and there was a specific video, a specific kind of video I was looking for, but nobody was really ever doing it at the time. Now if you search it, you can find it easily, but at the time no one wasn't really making videos like that till I found her video. I found the video back probably what do I want to say, 2016, 2017, maybe 2017. So I found the video, was excited that someone was doing it. I enjoyed how she was doing it, like her twist on it and everything. Like it was kind of like almost exactly what I wanted. So of course I commented on her video to show her my respect and my admiration for the video. She responded, because usually she's not, at the time she wasn't like a huge YouTuber at the time. I wouldn't say she's huge now, but she definitely have grown a lot, which I'm happy for her. But at the time, so usually when you're still so small, you want to communicate with everyone that talks to you. So she responded, and that pretty much started like I guess somewhat our friendship. So usually I was comment on her videos when she upload new videos. She eventually subscribed to my channel, and then vice versa. So we had that support of each other. So it wasn't until last year that we finally decided to actually like speak. First we started playing games together, just so we get more familiar with each other, and then I brought up the situation that I always wanted to do the podcast. We both are gamers. Why not make a gaming podcast? Because originally I did want it to be gaming. Really, I wanted to be gaming and like anime and stuff, like all my hobbies. So that's, but it was mainly just gaming. So we did it. But yeah, at the time went on, like things like ideas started to clash, and misunderstandings was happening, and miscommunications was happening. So I mean, for the best, we decided to just stop it before it ended up damaging the friendship and whatnot. So I don't even think we made it to double digits in episodes, so we didn't go that far. We didn't even really like have a plan. I don't even know when we uploaded. Like we would like record, I don't know, like it wasn't really structured and well thought out. I kind of just jumped into it and just thought everything would work out. So I'm personally glad that we did stop it so early, because then like we already had these issues at the beginning, and if we were to keep going and God willing, like business wise stuff started to expand for us, and then who knows what that could lead into. So that's where I want to talk about, as in, I guess, when you want to get into a business with somebody or just start something with somebody. It don't have to be a business yet, but maybe you have plans and dreams for it to become one. I think you both should be on 100% the same path. Like, you gotta understand that like some people are going to be more motivated and devoted to something than others. Like, I won't say that I was more devoted or whatever, but like I said, I waited like at the time period like 4 years to do the podcast. So I was really excited, and I really wanted to go all in with it. And it was like, once I felt like someone else is not like matching the same excitement, I guess it's like things just go down. So that kind of like if like, I think that's where it's like with Joe Budden, like he mentioned like the podcast and everything he been doing leading up to the podcast is like his life work. Like, yeah, his co-host came in and helped, the chemistry they had and all that, built it, and the years of friendship they had together built that. But that's like, one segment of his life compared to everything he been working towards to his life. Like everything I'm working towards in this podcast, that, God willing, that this goes even further beyond. If I was to just add a permanent co-host in here, it's, I don't know, like they have to like 100% be all in, just like I am at this moment right now. Like I need to be comfortable knowing that it's like, if for some reason I don't feel motivated to do an episode or whatever, like they are there to push me because they feel just as strong as I do about making this podcast work. So definitely make sure that you guys are on the same path. Make sure communication is always good. Make sure you guys have understanding of each other. Don't hide things. Don't be transparent. And yeah, like just definitely, like when it comes to like, especially when it comes to money, like definitely have that all sorted and worked out before you guys even start seeing a cent. Like how things should be split, how people should go about, like, like you could start off like saying like, the obvious answers, like, yeah, we're gonna go 50-50. Then as time goes on and then the money keep increasing, then you realize like, well, I'm the one who's coming up with like the notes, I'm the one who's editing the podcast, I'm the one who's recording it, and the other person's like, I could be doing this and I could do like, so it becomes a worth, like, oh, I feel like I'm doing more than you in this podcast, so maybe I should get more. And it's like, once that happens, then yeah, things is just gonna be downhill, because like now went from being equal terms to like someone feeling like they are bigger than the other in the podcast, and they feel like the podcast wouldn't be anything without them. And it's like, all right, so definitely get all of that in mind. Egos definitely could be a big thing. Like I said, one person could feel like they want to be like the head of the podcast, even though we came in as a group effort. It's like there's no leadership. Like, I wouldn't say not leader, there's no boss, and there's like, there could be leaders. Like, I respect your opinion, you respect my opinion, we discuss it and we go with the best decision. But there's no, if you tell me something, I'm gonna straight up do it, or it's gonna be a problem. So definitely doing that. Also doing it with friends or family. You gotta look at your history with them as well. Like, just because you guys are close friends and family, but you also remember, like, don't always think about the good things, think about the bad things. Like, you had that one cousin who always seemed like he wanted to like be the bully or the top dog of the family or whatever, and then like you guys start working together, and then they feel like, oh, just because we're family, I can do this, I can still keep doing this to you. Like, it's not about business. Like, I'm that cousin. Like, you know who I am. Like, what I say goes. And it's like, nah, that's not how we're gonna run this operation. So friendship, family, all that can be destroyed. Like I said, thankfully me and her ended it quickly before anything could have happened. So we, like, to this day, we are still cool friends. I still support her journey. Like I said, she have grown a lot. I'm glad that she like found her lane too, so I'm proud of her, happy for her. And I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm working on my rebrand and I'm just trying to do better than what I was doing before. That's always been my thing, working on my ascension. Another thing that I don't want to say it's an issue, but well, it can be an issue, but it comes down to, I guess, maybe the person. I think you need to be confident with like yourself. You have to be you have to believe in what you're making, your product. You gotta believe in what it is you're doing 100%. Cause, you know, someone say like, you know, says someone commented on my podcast and like, oh, like, podcast is trash, like, you should stop. And now I'm like, oh, maybe he's right, I shouldn't podcast anymore. Compared to, I don't know, maybe there's like 4 people that do enjoy the podcast compared to that one. I let that one person get to me. So there's that, and there's the situation with dealing with support. You know, people expect, well, going back to an episode I talked about normalizing, you know, helping your friend or your child or whatever, your family member, pursue their dreams, compared to like trying to make them do something that they're not comfortable with. People feel like if I do this, my friends, my family, you know, they should support me on this. Like, I should have automatic support from them, because, you know, we friends, we family, we got this bond, we got this bloodline. And they realize that they don't really, I don't want to say they don't care, but they just don't care to put in the effort to support you like that. Like, maybe once in a while they're like, oh, hey, listen to my friend's podcast, oh, hey, watch his video, oh, listen to his music. But they won't, like I said, they won't be as devoted as you are about doing this, because they don't see the benefit of it. And that's one thing that you gotta understand about, I guess, your friends and your family. Like, what are they in it for when they supporting you? Like, do they just care about your happiness? Like, this dude is really doing something he really enjoys, something he really likes, so I'm gonna support him about it, because, you know, his happiness is important. Like, they should live their life, like, no matter what. So I got your back 100%. What you doing? Compared to, like, you know, the typical, you know, let's say someone want to be a streamer or content creator or whatever, since that's popular now. You know, the usual, like, how you getting paid from this? You gonna pay bills from this? Like, why are you wasting your time with this, compared to they're just happy doing it? Just support them, help them, make them grow. If they like, they can make money from this, they can pay bills from this, but they need to expand. They know you can't do everything by yourself. That's something I believe. Like, as much as I am doing the podcast episode by myself, I do hope that there's someone out there that's listening. I hope someone that probably even word of mouth, like, even they don't have to share it on social media, but maybe there's a friend that they know that's like really into podcasts, and they could just, you know, call them up or text them or see them, whatever. Like, I don't know, but I can't reach the world by myself. So I got to, you know, hopefully rely on listeners and supporters. But you shouldn't expect, just because of your relationship with certain people, that it should be a given. Like, if that's the case, like, my numbers should be high just off rip because of that, but it's not, and I can't fault them for that. I can't blame them for that. It's just, all right, I understand what, you know, I understand what it is that you're willing to do for the reason, and it's like, our lifestyles aren't on the same path right now, or it ever will be, so I can't expect you to support the direction I'm going. But yeah, like, you can't be jaded to them, like, oh, you know, you're supposed to be my blood, man, you're supposed to be there for me, man, like, all the times I helped you out, you can't just share this link once a week or whatever. It's like, all right, whatever, you can't do it, that's fine. But, you know, maybe this stranger here that I don't know really likes my podcast, and he'll share the link. You know, it can go a long way. So you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe that what it is you're making, whatever it is you're doing, you're creating, is worth being spread to the world. Like, just knowing that, hey, Actually, I saw recently. It randomly came to me too, cause not something I'm interested in. But the fact that it came up to me just shows that I was meant to see that. Recently, Nicki Minaj, one of her songs from like an album she made, I think 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like it was one of her last albums that came out a while ago, and they just recently just threw it up. Her fans just randomly supported it and made it into a top selling song randomly, like just because it's like that support level, because they truly enjoy what it is. They enjoy what you made, they enjoy your craft, and they support you, and they want to show you how much they appreciate you. Like they just randomly just took a song from an album that came out years ago and just made it poppin'. Like just knowing that it can happen, like people can support you from wherever, whenever, just because they just genuinely like what you're doing. But then again, like I said, you gotta be careful for the people who are only doing it for gain. Like, you know, like, hey, I'm doing this podcast, I would like for you to help me support it, help me make this grow, support me, whatever. And they're like, oh, you know, are you getting paid from this? Or like are you becoming a big time with this? They don't see like, they only want to be there for the end result. Like, oh, I have a hit single, help me promote this song. Like, it's already getting like millions of streams, but help me promote it. Like, oh yeah, man, like, you know. So they gonna feel like they're entitled to, like, well, I helped you and I already see you doing big, you know, I'm part of that. Compared to like, I'm only getting 2 listeners a day, a podcast episode. If you help me out, maybe it can go to 4, it can go to 5, because you have more reach than I do. And they like, nah, because, you know, they don't see, I guess, the end result of what this is gonna get them. And I mean, yeah, you gotta be careful for that too. Like people who only want to support you for their own self benefit, that can be tricky, especially when it could come from a friend or a family. Like you don't expect it from that, but you know, those are usually one of the common cases. Like, you know, family members want to pop back up into your life when they see you doing good. They're like, oh, what's up, cousin, you run with me? And like, no, I don't. But yeah, you just gotta be confident in what you're doing. Be careful of, like, don't ever feel like you're owed support, like, from people. Just work towards making your creation worth being supported. Like this, it's crazy. Like I'm not a huge, like, honestly, I'm not a huge podcast. Like, not, you know, the world don't know me, but when I sit there and like look at some of my numbers, like I try not to analyze my numbers a lot, like on purpose, but then sometimes, like, I like to look, like, a certain week, I like to see how everything looks as a whole. And I'm like, the fact that, like, just for me, like just the fact that I'm getting like over 10 plays period is just amazing. But the numbers that I see, like, it's amazing to how much people are actually listening to my podcast. And yeah, I do really want it to grow more, and I hope that people are like spreading this out as much as I'm spreading it out as well. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get myself out there as well, I gotta believe in myself, I gotta promote myself so people can see that it's something worth promoting as well. But yeah, but building a support circle can be, it can be tricky, but I think it can definitely be benefit as well. Like having find a specific group of people, of friends, so that could be 2 or 3 people that truly do see your vision and truly do, like, are happy for you just doing what you're doing. Like, there's the moral support, like, hey, like, you're like, good job, you're doing this. Like, yeah. Then there's the people that's like, you know, when you upload the episode, I'm gonna share the link. When you do this, I'm gonna do this. Like, people who are really there to like help you because they truly enjoy and are happy with what you're doing. And like I said, that can be hard to find, but like once you get that as well, that that's gonna be a real confident booster as well. Like knowing that there's people that's riding with me about this just as much as I am. Like that's amazing. That's a goal of mine. I don't know, like, you know, you'd be amazed where you find friendship and stuff. Like there's some people that I'm close with that I haven't even met compared to people that I grew up with. Like, yeah, like people who are willing to support me, not even knowing me, compared to people that do know me. You gotta be open-minded to like people that's willing to help you, but be aware of why they're helping you. Like if it don't seem like they want something, or maybe like, you know, you have to have an agreement about how this should work. Like, yeah, like you shouldn't have to be like, no one should feel entitled to anything. Like maybe it just should feel natural. Like, oh no, you helped me all this time. No, I can, like, however way I repay you by doing this. Maybe they start up something. Maybe they start up a podcast. Maybe they start up a YouTube. Well, you share my thing, I'll share yours. And like, no, I'll support you completely, 100%. And yeah, just grow from there, help each other out. That's what it's all about. You know, being one, making the world one. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't want to get into that. That's not what this podcast is about. I don't want to bring negativity in here. It's just, yeah, like it's not here to bash people, not here to put people down about who's helping, who's not helping. Just be confident with yourself. Be comfortable with yourself. Be comfortable with what you're making. Be comfortable with what you're doing. Be confident in what it is you're putting out, and you know it'll happen. Like everything's a grind. Everything don't just happen at a snap of a finger. Cause if that's the case, then I mean, look, the world would be different. But it's not. So just work towards your craft. You know, be happy what you're doing. Don't get burnt out. If you need to take any time off, take time off. Like I said, I recently just took the month off from recording an episode because I just needed more time to be comfortable and think. And like, I don't want to burn myself out doing this podcast, because I truly do enjoy doing this, but I don't. I put up a post in the group about what are people's podcasting fears, and I put mine is that just one day losing the spark or the motivation to keep doing this. Like, I do really like doing this, and like it would suck if, like, whatever the reason may be, something just make me stop doing it. I mean, life is mysterious. There's a lot of things that I am doing, but my overall goal is to make everything into one whole hub. Like, I do a lot of things, but I wanted to make it all one, like, this is me type thing. But yeah, that's mainly it. But yeah, I usually do have my questions of the day for people to, you know, answer to themselves, or somehow if you want to answer it to me, or ask another friend, maybe, whatever. I don't really have one prepared, but going off the theme of this episode, I mean, has there been time when you felt discouraged, or maybe you just stopped doing what you were doing because you felt like the people that you were expecting to support you didn't? So that's my question of the day, or the episode, whatever. And yeah, once again, like I said, share this podcast like I do. Just want this to grow. Want more listeners, want more people to enjoy this. And yeah, hopefully someday I can start branching out some more guests, add more perspective into this, because like this is a topic I would love to know what other people think about this as well. So to have a guest to talk about something like this would have been amazing. I probably could have had one, but I don't. I wanted to talk about this by myself, but yeah. So yeah, share, rate podcast, follow me wherever I am. Usually I'm Digital Relaxation on YouTube, Twitch, Digi Relaxation on Twitter. I think I'm Digi Relaxation on Instagram as well. And yeah, see you guys next episode. Have a good one. Peace.